This motel was damaged in Nevada's last tornado. I'm Blake Gully. Coming up, how 7 new sirens aim to keep people safe.
Plus, a Southeast Kansas fire department needs volunteers. Find out what it takes to be a community hero.
The Crawford County Sheriff's Department welcomes one of its newest deputies, K9 Kane. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Southwest Missouri community invests in new technology to keep its residents safe. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. After more than 40 years, Nevada, Missouri is replacing its aging storm sirens. KOAM's Blake Gully shows us how the city is shifting to a new system designed to cover more ground.
Nevada has used the same storm sirens since the 1980s, but that's now changing with a $300,000 upgrade to replace the aging system.
They're able to reach out further. We're able to even reach out into the county a little bit outside our city limits. So they're placed in about the same location. We had to make a couple movements, but they're placed in the same location, and we'll be able to do tests daily with those, a silent tests, so we're make sure they're activated and ready to go.
This motel still shows scars from the last tornado here in Nevada. And while the city is going from 8 sirens down to 7, the fire chief stresses how much stronger the new system is.
These are newer sirens. They're a lot louder, and they're able to reach more coverage.
The city is also adding large speakers at the golf course and baseball fields for added safety.
This will have additional capabilities where we can warn, especially if the kids are out there playing baseball or golfers are out, we can notify them of a lightning coming in or a thunderstorm or heavy rain coming in also.
The city hopes by replacing the old system, residents will have more time to get to safety when severe weather strikes. Reporting from Nevada, Missouri, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
City officials expect the new sirens to be in place by mid-October. They also plan to have the new system fully installed before the old one comes down. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
And it turned out to be a pretty good Wednesday for us today. Still hot across the region, but we're mainly looking at mid to upper 80s over the next couple days. Scattered thunderstorms tomorrow, and it may be a little bit cooler on Friday, and then chances for thunderstorms again as we go into the weekend, which, hey, we could use the rain. Anything we had out there earlier today is pretty much gone, so it's going to be fairly calm over the next several hours. But we are going to start to see some scattered thunderstorms popping up. Southeastern Kansas, as we go through the morning hours, you can see a band trying to kind of push through. So a lot of clouds. This may keep our temps down just a bit. Scattered thunderstorms kind of working through as we go into the evening hours, and then starting to rotate out of here once we get late in the day. 77 in Joplin, 75 in Pittsburgh. We'll talk more about that rain here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. The Columbus Fire Department is looking for 3 firefighters to fill their volunteer roster. One requirement, you have to live in or near the city limits. Plus, availability is key. Fire Chief Stephen Burton says they will train the right people. The chief says in recent years, volunteer service has declined tremendously.
Anybody that's interested in becoming a volunteer or seeing what that looks like, not just for Columbus, but any other community that has volunteer fire departments, reach out to them, see what it takes to join, go do a ride along. Just ask questions, and it might be that thing that you've been missing in life that brings some joy to you. Give it a shot. You might make a difference in someone's life and not even realize it.
Columbus firefighters responded to more than 600 calls last year. Officials say every one of them was a chance for volunteers to learn and make a difference. Well, one of the newest deputies at the Crawford County Sheriff's Office is already making an impact 1 month into the job. KOAM's Samantha Walker met K9 Kane and spoke with the Sheriff's Office about what support the German Shepherd offers the community.
The first week he was out, he got an apprehension. He located an individual that ran from us on foot after a car chase.
Just 1 month into his job, Crawford County Canine Officer Kane is making his mark. The office had hoped for a canine to help address drug issues in the county.
It's a huge problem, and we're going to start working on that like we have been since we became in office.
Kane is partnered with Deputy Nate Swartz. They did 6 weeks of training to help get the canine ready for the field.
He's certified in tracking, he's certified in narcotics, heroin, cocaine, fentanyl, methamphetamines, and that's the stuff that we're focused on getting off the streets.
The deputy and Kane have bonded, being together at both work and home.
We play in the yard. I get him out. We interact a lot with each other.
Swartz's daughter has nicknamed him Waffles.
We thought that was funny, but we decided to go with Kane.
Despite the sweet nickname, Kane is here to work, something both the sheriff and his handler emphasize.
He's going to be a working dog, and he's going to be doing a lot out on the streets. Some of these dogs get a little bit more aggressive, and they want to work, and they're not there for play.
He is a deputy. He's an officer. We treat him the same. He's not just a normal dog. He's one of us.
The sheriff tells me the canine program doesn't use taxpayer funds. It's run off donations from community donors like Diamond Pet Food and Arvest Bank.
The dog, the equipment for the car, and the training. And they continue to do everything for the dog. They supply the dog food. We have our local vet take care of our dog for us, who donates stuff for us. And it's just a big relief for us because it's a large amount of money for the canine unit.
Now the department can watch as Kane grows as an officer.
He wants to work. He's constantly wanting to get out of that car and do stuff. So it'll be fun to see how he progresses throughout the years.
Reporting in Crawford County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The sheriff says they hope to possibly have more canine officers like Kane in the future. One event this weekend shines the spotlight on four-legged heroes who once served the community. Academy Animal Hospital in Joplin is hosting a fundraiser this Saturday from noon to 2 with pulled pork sandwiches, sides, desserts, and more, all to benefit retired canine officers. Organizers say while the dogs are no longer on duty, they still need support from the community for food, care, and medical expenses.
I'm a dog lover, and I love to see that they're well taken care of, just as if it was mine. You know, I want my dog to be taken care of if it was a working dog, and, you know, just because they retire, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't quit loving them.
Residents are encouraged to stop by, enjoy a meal, play games, and meet some of the canines who once worked to protect them. Coming up, prostate cancer awareness.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I'm Joe Morgan in Los Angeles with the story of what one sportscaster is doing to get men to go to the doctor.
And later, a Missouri group fights back against redistricting.
KOAM Plus.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Fox's Joe Morgan has the story of a charity started by a longtime baseball broadcaster who works to raise awareness for the disease.
The American Cancer Society estimates more than 300,000 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2025, and more than 35,000 will die from the disease this year. Longtime baseball broadcaster Ed Randall is a prostate cancer survivor.
I was 47 years old when I went to the doctor for my routine annual physical. At least I thought it was going to be routine. And I felt fine that day. And to my surprise, I was told that I had prostate cancer.
Ed realized other men may be in the same situation he was in. So, in 2003, he founded the charity Fans for the Cure, which encourages men over 40 to get a PSA blood test.
There's a 99% cure rate if prostate cancer is detected early.
Ed co-hosts the baseball show Remember When on MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM, and he takes time out of every show to let listeners know about Fans for the Cure.
I'm the only person, I'm sure, in this country that stops his show to tell the men in his audience to go to the doctors and get a simple blood test, because the demographic largely listening to my shows is the demographic that is most vulnerable to prostate cancer.
Fans for the Cure's work includes hosting awareness nights and free screenings at stadiums and sports arenas, along with community health events, patient advocacy, physician referrals, and men's and women's support groups.
Information is available at fansforthecure.org. In Los Angeles, Joe Morgan, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, a Missouri group of non-politicians fights Congress's current redistricting proposal.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a fairly hot one once again for us today. We did get some hit and miss storms during the afternoon, especially in southwestern Missouri. Now we've lost the heating of the day, meaning we have lost the storm. So that sun angle goes down, you lose some of that instability in the atmosphere, and thunderstorms go poof. They are still kind of ongoing west of Wichita because that's the main upper level wave. So that's the ingredients to produce those showers and even some thunderstorms. We are pretty quiet, and I think we're going to stay nice and quiet as we go through the next several hours, but then we'll start to get some showers kind of popping up once again a little bit later on tonight. Let's go through time. We're going to stop this at about 5:30 in the morning. Scattered showers, few thunderstorms, nothing too strong or severe, getting going southeastern Kansas. Kind of lifting northeast, but still slowly kind of pushing through. So a lot of clouds. Here's the noon hour. Most of our scattered lighter showers, Kansas into Oklahoma. Once we get into the afternoon, the focus kind of shifts a little farther toward the east, southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas, and then any thunderstorms start to push out of the region once we get to about 6 or 7 p.m. on Thursday. Could see a couple random showers through the evening hours, then pretty quiet as we go through the night. I actually think Friday looks pretty good. There could be a random shower to start, and then partly sunny skies. We're going to go with a high temp right around 84 degrees. Brief break, more thunderstorms start to roll back in as we go into Saturday morning. 67 to start, 80 by noon. Let's go with a high temp, 87 on your Thursday. We'll jump into Friday evening. We have 4-state Friday night high school football, 76 at kickoff, 70 by the fourth quarter. Should be dry, which is great to see. Fantastic shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We're looking downtown Joplin. Still warm. It's 75 to about 79 degrees. And we've had these pop-up storms the past couple days because of this upper level wave. Here's the main axis that is going to rotate through, and that's going to give us those better chances for rain as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. You can see it kind of rotates through, pushes east. Here comes a stronger wave diving in. So this is going to be late Sunday into Monday, giving us even better chances to get rain right on top of us as we go through next week, which, hey, we could use the rain. Looking at the weekend, starting off scattered thunderstorms on Saturday. I think most of the day is going to be dry, then hit and miss storms start to pop up again late Saturday night, and into Sunday. Once again, 87 on your Thursday, 84 on Friday, back near 90 Saturday, and then mainly low to mid 80s most of next week.
Yeah, I'm looking for all 80s. Well, we got the 80s on there, but now we need to drop it into the 70s.
We'll get there. Average high still 82.
And then we can start thinking about Christmas.
Whatever you want to do, Tanya.
Well, the city of Pittsburgh has already announced the date for this year's Christmas parade. On December 1st at 6:30 p.m., the annual parade will roll down Broadway. The free event is open to everyone and kids of all ages, and while it's still early, we do have it on good information. A certain individual named Santa Claus will make an appearance. Coming up next, an education evaluation.
Lawmakers are calling for a reevaluation of our nation's education system. I'm Mike Emanuel in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
A Missouri lawmaker is leading the call for a re-evaluation of our nation's education system and the expansion of alternatives to four-year college degrees. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has more from our nation's capital.
Lawmakers are taking a look at our nation's secondary education system and how it prepares America's youth for rewarding careers.
It's time that we reevaluate our education system.
A Senate subcommittee is raising concerns about what they are calling an unprecedented surplus of college graduates and an economy starved of tradesmen.
The promise of college as a guaranteed path to prosperity is now waning.
Young degree holders are facing one of the toughest job markets in more than a decade amid economic uncertainty and a rise in AI. According to Pew Research, young Americans had the lowest job satisfaction compared to other age groups.
They face higher tuition, ballooning debt, in too many degrees that don't pay off. More than a third of undergraduate programs today have a negative return on investment.
The committee says the Trump administration is working to offer alternatives for young Americans beyond four-year college degrees. Budget changes signed into law this summer expand the programs available for federal funding, but they say more needs to be done.
And the reality is our traditional pipelines, high school and trade school graduates simply aren't producing enough people to keep up. This shortage ripples across the economy. When repairs are delayed, costs rise, insurers feel it, consumers feel it, and the challenge is only growing.
Blue-collar work currently represents a quarter of the current workforce. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
A Missouri organization says the people, not politicians, should decide to accept or reject new congressional maps. The group, People Not Politicians, held a call Monday to discuss how to put a redistricting plan approved by Missouri lawmakers to a vote. The voter referendum is not used frequently, but the group says it is gathering more than 107,000 signatures across Missouri to make the vote happen. Group leaders say it will easily get those numbers.
Given the amount of support we've already seen coming from Missourians about this, we are going to turn in well in excess of those numbers.
People Not Politicians has until December 11th to collect and turn in those signatures. If approved, a voter referendum on the state's congressional maps would be placed on the November 2026 ballot. Up next, celebrating Constitution Day. A celebration 238 years in the making takes place across the country today. The Constitution of the United States was signed on this day back in 1787. The League of Women Voters in Joplin marked the occasion with a presentation on the Fifth Amendment at Crowder College today. The presentation covered the history behind why the Fifth Amendment was added and the history of the Miranda decision.
You can also refuse to testify in court if you think you might be prosecuted on what you say, even if you're not guilty of it. So your silence is a constitutional right. They can't force you to testify against yourself.
Each student was given a copy of the Constitution. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. 3 police officers are shot and killed this afternoon in central Pennsylvania, with 2 others in critical condition. We'll have the latest. And economists say lower interest rates could encourage businesses to hire more workers.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Heartbreak in central Pennsylvania today after 3 officers are killed and 2 others remain in critical condition. The deadly shooting happened shortly after 2 p.m. about 2.5 hours west of Philadelphia, while officers were serving a court order. The shooting suspect is dead after he was shot by police. Emergency crews, including a medevac helicopter, rushed to the scene. The FBI and Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives are assisting with the investigation.
He was shot by police.
The circumstances surrounding why those officers were there was they were serving a warrant of some sort of PFA?
So they were there to follow up on an investigation that began yesterday. The general heading of that investigation, I would say, would be domestic related.
And police did not share the names of the shooter or the officers and did not say which agency the officers are a part of. The investigation is ongoing. We're just a few days away from the government running out of money, and no surprise, Democrats and Republicans cannot get together on a new continuing resolution to keep the lights on. Fox News national correspondent Griff Jenkins has more from Washington.
Clean is the wrong word. It's a partisan bill.
Democrats on Capitol Hill not mincing words when it comes to the latest government funding proposal by Republicans. Both sides have to find consensus by September 30th. That's when the money runs out. And the federal government faces the prospect of yet another shutdown. Republicans are offering what they call a clean continuing resolution that would keep funding at current levels, but Democrats say that's a non-starter.
It's a status quo bill. Americans don't want the status quo.
The main sticking point right now, health care subsidies to fund the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. Democrats wanted them increased, but Republicans say that should be part of a long-term funding deal.
I don't think Democrats are going to win the next election by shutting down the government over a short-term, clean, nonpartisan funding measure.
Democrats pushing back, claiming President Trump has ordered GOP leaders not to negotiate.
The biggest hang-up here is that Donald Trump says that he doesn't even want to deal with us.
But some Republicans are wary of being blamed if the government shuts down, and they say the GOP should make a deal.
I think we should sit down with the Democrats to talk about the ACA tax credits. They shouldn't get 100%, but I think there's an area to negotiate.
The Republican proposal would fund the government until November 27th. After that, Congress has to either pass a budget or a new continuing resolution. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Well, the Federal Reserve announces the first interest rate cut of the year. Policymakers voted to lower a key interest rate of 0.25 percentage point, and they signaled 2 more cuts are likely later this year. The move is designed to keep the economy growing by making it less expensive to borrow money. Now, economists say that could encourage businesses to hire more workers and bolster the labor market. This is the first rate cut in 9 months, even though President Trump has put enormous pressure on the Fed to reduce borrowing costs. Well, ahead of trade talks with the UK, Prime Minister, the royal family is rolling out the red carpet for President Trump with an elaborate ceremony at Windsor Castle. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more.
President Trump is receiving the full royal treatment today as he becomes the first U.S. president to have a second state visit with the royal family. A horse-drawn carriage procession setting the tone after President Trump and the First Lady arrived at Windsor Castle. They were met by a guard of honor before the president and King Charles III carried out a military inspection. Then it was off to a private lunch with the king and members of the royal family, all before the marquee event, a glamorous state banquet later this evening.
This is a real honor, and it shows that the special relationship is being strengthened, and importantly for Americans, business-wise.
While the welcome was warm at Windsor Castle, on the streets of London, not so much. Activists from the Stop Trump coalition held a march protesting the president's visit.
Putting it politely, I don't feel that he's good for the world.
Tomorrow, it's back to business and politics for President Trump as he meets with Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The UK wants to improve the trade deal the two countries announced in May, including steel and aluminum tariffs, which are currently charged at 25%.
The British are rolling out everything they possibly can to show President Trump he's welcome. We want to strengthen this relationship.
And in a sign of historic partnership between the two countries, President Trump gifted King Charles a replica of President Eisenhower's sword, a symbol of profound respect. In London, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later a Wall Street makeover.
At this revitalized street in Fort Scott, business is booming. I'm Kenny Foreman, and I'll give you an inside look coming up.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. Still kind of hot across the region. Most of us lower 90s for highs. Had some scattered hit-miss thunderstorms out there earlier today. These have all died out, so we look pretty calm as we go through the next several hours. Now, we are going to get chances for some showers and a few thunderstorms popping back up late tonight. You can see a couple little sprinkles. That's it. Pretty calm, which is good, and that's what we are going to see over the next several hours. Late tonight, though, we have an upper level wave that is going to kick in. This will try to fire off some scattered hit and miss showers and thunderstorms. Nothing too strong or severe, but they are going to be out there. Here's 5:30 in the morning. Let me take you through the morning. Scattered showers, random thunder showers. So here's about the noon hour. So not much action in the morning on the Missouri and Arkansas side. As we get into the afternoon, that starts to shift a little bit farther off toward the east. So by 3:30, mainly along the Kansas-Missouri state line, and then working into Missouri and also Arkansas. I do want to point out these are going to be very scattered. It's not going to be a wall of rain. I would say 50% of us will get rain, meaning about half of our counties, because it will be maybe a little bit more, maybe 60, but that will be it. All these thunderstorms start to work out of here tomorrow evening. May start with a random shower Friday, and then Friday afternoon looks pretty good as we kind of sit into the mid 80s for afternoon highs. 67 to start, 80 by noon, high temp 87 on your Thursday. Let's jump into 4-State Friday night. High school football holding on to decent weather, 76 at kickoff, 70 by the fourth quarter. Pretty hard to beat that as we go into Friday evening, and we should be on the dry side. Looks good right now. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam looking northeast, right on through Joplin. Still kind of warm or mild. 72 to about 78-ish across the region. All right, so our showers over the past couple days due to this upper level wave. Here's the main wave kind of pushing through the Rockies. As that swings out toward us, that gives us the better chances for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Then this wave is going to shift on by as we go into the weekend. However, a stronger system dives in late Sunday into Monday, giving us good chances for rain again. So let's look at it. Starting Saturday, scattered thunderstorms. I think most of the day is going to be dry, but we are going to get some pop-up storms once again late Saturday, Saturday night, and into Sunday morning. Then late Sunday, these storms get going, and some of those could be a little bit on the stronger side. So we'll have to watch that. But rainfall potential over the next 5 days. A lot of areas could pick up an inch, maybe 2 across the region, which we could use. 87 Thursday, 84. Friday, 89. Saturday, 85 on Sunday. Still above average, but not the 90s.
Yeah, it's above average. What should the average be?
82.
82. So we need some more 70s to average that out.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the Southeast Unified Golf Tournament teed off at Four Oaks Golf Course in Pittsburgh this morning. The event, hosted by Special Olympics Kansas, brings together athletes with and without intellectual disabilities to celebrate inclusion, sportsmanship, and community. With more than 60 teams participating, the tournament saw significant growth from just 12 teams last year.
It's to build the relationships between the athletes and members in the community and peers just within their classroom and within their school. But being able to celebrate it on the golf course and having that one-on-one time with their partner to build those relationships is really what today's all about.
Volunteers for the event were local high school athletes and community members. Still ahead, Missouri Southern's honoring former head coach John Ware this weekend, and we'll hear from Coach Atiba Bradley. And one Pitt State Gorilla rose to the occasion on Saturday in their upset win over Grand Valley State. Those details coming up after the break.
Missouri Southern returns to Fred G. Hughes Stadium this Saturday, coming off of their bye week. But this week is about more than football, as the Lions will be celebrating the life and legacy of former head coach John Ware. The program will honor the late coach as 2025 marks 20 years since his passing. Ware led the MSSU program for 2 years, earning College Sports Report's National Coach of the Year in 2003. During his time with the Lions, Ware coached current Missouri Southern head coach Atiba Bradley and defensive coordinator Joe Patasso. During his presser on Monday, Bradley talked about his former coach.
Even though he was only our head coach for 2 years, just had an astonishing impact on everybody that was around him. You didn't have to be around him for a year. Just being in his presence for a few moments, you knew just how great an individual he was. And so him and a lot of guys on that staff are the reason I coach college football.
Lions take on the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats on Saturday. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. Pitt State football is coming off a big upset win over third-ranked Grand Valley State last week. And after defeating the Lakers, one Gorilla player received special recognition from head coach Tom Anthony. PSU kicker Austin Schmidt received a game ball after his performance against Grand Valley. After missing a couple of field goals in the first 2 games of the season, the junior stepped up big in the Gorillas' win on Saturday. In a game where points came at a premium, Pitt State sent out Schmidt in the early second quarter with the game tied at 0. Schmidt connected on a career-long 53-yard field goal to give the Gorillas an early lead, and that field goal would be the difference in PSU's 17-14 win.
He's that guy. I mean, he just got the game ball in the locker room right now from Coach Anthony. And Coach Anthony's words is, "I'll never not trust this guy." So that says what it needs to say about that kid.
I told him in the locker room after the game, my confidence in him will never waver. I truly do think he's the best place kicker in the country. Just mishit a few balls, over the last 2 weeks, and came out today and had 2 huge field goals for us. Huge field goals, and again, we're going to continue to rely on Austin Schmidt. He's a big part of what we do, and he's going to win us a lot of football games.
Gorillas looking for a second straight win on Saturday at home against Fort Hays State. Kickoff at 4 p.m. from Carney Smith Stadium. Austin Schmidt wasn't the only Gorilla to shine when the lights were brightest last week. Redshirt senior safety Reggie King received recognition for his big day against the Lakers. King was named the MIAA Defensive Player of the Week after filling the stat sheet against Grand Valley. He finished the game with 3 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and an interception that sealed the win for Pitt State. His performance aided in a dominant defensive outing that limited the Lakers' offense to under 210 total yards. While a pair of Pitt State stars shined at the national level this past week on the gridiron, one former Gorillas track and field standout showed out on the grandest stage of them all, in front of the entire world. After winning multiple NCAA Division II titles with the Gorillas, Cordell Tinch is now a world champion, claiming the 110-meter hurdles title in Tokyo, flying in with a time of 12.99 seconds. Tinch's journey to this point is different compared to most. Prior to his time at Pitt State, Tinch took a 3-year break from the sport, selling phones and working on machinery. Now he has reached the mountaintop, representing the United States with a gold medal at the 2025 World Athletics Championships. The Missouri Southern Lions women's soccer team is off to a 2-2 start this season. Lions back at home to take on Oklahoma Baptist this evening. MSSU looking to get back in the win column after falling to Southwestern Oklahoma State on Sunday. Early first half, Lions on the attack. Presley Ziegler's through ball finds Talia Sanders. She'll get to Natalia Louise, and her one-timer is saved by Jolie King. Later in the half, Bison going the opposite way. Lauren Handley in the open field. She'll fire our net, and it bangs off the post and in for the goal. Now MSSU looking for the equalizer before the half. Presley Whitmire with the pass to Daniela Marquez. She has an open look, but King sprawls out for the save. MSSU, though, bounces back in the second half with a goal to secure a 1-1 tie against the Bison. Royals looking to bounce back from last night's loss to the Mariners, getting it done with a 7-5 win tonight. El Capitan Salvador Perez continues to age like a fine wine with another home run. Adam Frazier also cleared the yard, but Carlos Estevez becomes the 5th Royal in franchise history at 40 saves in a single season. The Cardinals wrapping up their series with the Reds this afternoon, falling to Cincinnati 6-2 as the Reds take the series. Former Royal Brady Singer surrendered 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings to pick up the win. Alec Burleson, though, went 2 for 3 with his 18th home run of the year. Good to see the Royals get back in the win column. Salvador Perez continues to amaze me, but some younger guys getting it done too, so good to see them have an impact.
Yeah, nice to have a win tonight. They needed it, that's for sure.
Big time.
Back with more news after this. Well, if you're in Fort Scott and looking for a hair salon, pawn shop, or a bite to eat, East Wall Street may have the answer. KOAM's Kenny Foreman gives us an inside look at a few revitalized small businesses.
Several small business owners along East Wall Street in Fort Scott say that business has been picking up in recent weeks. They say a main factor is the relocation of After Effects Salon. After 18 years further downtown, salon owner Shelley Bradley decided to make the move. Her clients love the new location since it's much easier to find parking.
We have our own parking lot, and that's really improved for our clients. They don't have to walk blocks away. And we just wanted to invest in our own property and our own business.
The salon's presence, as well as overall cleanup efforts taken by business owners, have also benefited neighboring business owners such as Fort Scott gun and pawn owner Sean Goins. The Fort Scott Chamber of Commerce named his store 2025 Small Business of the Year.
Anything, that gets folks out here, if they need to store something next door, the restaurant, the salon, a lot of guys will drop their significant other at the salon, come in, look at firearms. So yes, it's been very good for us.
Given its close proximity to U.S. Route 69, a revitalized East Wall Street has been successful in drawing travelers looking for a place to unwind. Having called Fort Scott home since 1970, that's something that Ed Tody's restaurant owner Kevin Allen takes a lot of pride in.
We get a lot of passerbys, a lot of people, nowadays they Google it or what have you to figure out a unique place to eat. A lot of people don't want to eat at a fast food restaurant. They want to find that little hidden gem where they can go in and have an experience rather than just a meal.
Allen is proud of the community for not relying on assistance from the city and taking initiative to make improvements.
I'm a bit of a fighter, and if I think there's something worth fighting for, I'll stand on it, and that's what we're doing. We're standing on it. We're gonna make sure the east side still gets its fair shot.
In Fort Scott, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Allen says the street has potential for more community-wide events such as outdoor concerts. Up next, Sweeney's scandalous job. Earthquake rocks the stage and Cardi B hits the road in Hollywood Nation. From Sydney Sweeney's dark new thriller to Earthquake's Netflix special, Fox's Anna Elopoulos has all the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
Hi, Millie. Hi. Sweeney's scandalous job, Earthquake rocks the stage, and Cardi B hits the road in the Hollywood Nation. Cardi B is bringing the drama to the stage. The rapper announced the Little Miss Drama Tour, her first headlining arena run kicking off February 11th in Palm Desert, California. The 31-date trek supports her new album, Am I the Drama?, dropping Friday, and marks the biggest tour of her career to date.
This is an outrage!
Legendary comedian Earthquake is shaking up the stage again in today's First Looks. Netflix released the trailer for Joke-Telling Business, his first hour-long special for the streamer, featuring his unfiltered takes on everyday life, relationships, and current events. It follows his hit 2022 half-hour Netflix set, Chappelle's home team, Legendary Earthquake. The new special starts streaming September 30th.
Hello?
Millie's going to be living with us? Sydney Sweeney's dream job turns into a nightmare in the first trailer for The Housemaid. She stars alongside Amanda Seyfried in the thriller about a live-in maid drawn into a dangerous game of secrets and scandal behind closed doors. The film arrives in theaters December 19th. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
And that is our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of King Bao celebrating her 4th birthday over the weekend at the Smithsonian National Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.